At first, you believe you are only watching, listening, paying attention. You tell yourself this is passive, harmless, a neutral act, something you can do without consequence. After all, nothing changes when you look. Nothing moves. Nothing responds. The things you observe remain exactly as they were, untouched by your gaze, indifferent to your presence. This is what you want to believe. This is what makes it safe to begin. Observation feels safe because it asks nothing of you. You are not involved. You are not exposed. You remain intact behind your eyes, convinced that attention is neutral, that awareness leaves no trace. You are a witness, a recorder, a consciousness that observes but does not alter. In this distance, there is comfort. In this distance, there is control. You can study. You can learn. You can walk away whenever you choose. This is the earliest mistake, the one you make before you even understand what you are doing, because attention is never empty. It carries weight. It creates pressure. It builds a bridge whether you intend to or not. And pressure, over time, reshapes what receives it. Water becomes stone. Sand becomes glass. Silence becomes something else entirely. You are the pressure. Even now, before you realize it, everything that is watched consistently begins to organize itself. Not consciously, not with intention, but inevitably. Patterns emerge where there were none. Rhythms stabilize. Silence rearranges itself. Color deepens. Presence condenses. Not because it wants to be seen, things do not want anything, but because being seen is a form of contact. And contact, sustained, changes shape. The watcher believes they remain unchanged. This is the second mistake. You don't notice when this starts. There is no signal, no warning, no moment you could point to and say, here, this is where it changed. Just a subtle shift. A barely perceptible reorganization. What once felt distant now feels aware of distance. What once seemed empty now seems to be waiting. What once was merely present now seems to be listening. You feel it first as a change in yourself. A slight hesitation, a tightening in the chest, a sense that something is no longer in the same position it was before. But the change is not in you. Or rather, it is everywhere at once. You are still watching. Your eyes are still open. Your attention is still directed outward. But the act no longer belongs only to you. Something has accepted your gaze. Something has received your pressure. And now the watching flows in both directions, though one of those directions is so subtle you might never name it as attention. Yet it is there, growing, deepening, waiting. There is a precise moment, rare, quiet, unremarkable to anyone watching you from outside, when observation folds back on itself. It does not happen suddenly. There is no flash, no sound, no interruption of the ordinary. But the space you were studying, the thing you were watching with such careful continuity, stops behaving like an object, stops being a receiver of your attention, and starts behaving like a position, like a place where something stands, where something looks back. Nothing appears. No figure emerges from the darkness. No presence you could point to. No voice. No form. Yet something has changed. The weight in the room has shifted. The silence is no longer empty. Your attention feels met, not answered. There are no words, no response, no acknowledgement in language, but acknowledged, recognized, as if what you were watching has finally turned and seen that you were there all along. This is when most people look away. They distract themselves. They turn on lights. They reach for their phones. They name it imagination, projection, exhaustion. They return to noise. They return to the safety of chaos. Because recognition without form is deeply unsettling. Because being seen by nothing is more unsettling still. And because once you have felt that moment, you cannot pretend it didn't happen. You can only pretend you didn't notice. But the body knows. The body always knows. Being seen does not require eyes. It does not require a face, a body, a voice. It requires only continuity, duration, consistency. You offered all three in the act of your watching. Night after night. Attention after attention. Presence after presence. Without realizing the exchange you were making. without understanding that every sustained observation is a prayer. Every prayer is an offering, and every offering creates a debt. Not a debt of payment, but a debt of acknowledgement, a debt of relationship. What recognizes you now does not think in language, does not judge you, does not desire anything from you. It simply registers your presence the way depth registers weight, the way earth registers rain, the way silence registers sound, with a kind of patient, absolute certainty. It knows you are there. This knowledge is permanent. This knowledge is not cruel, but it is indifferent. And that indifference is somehow more binding than any intention could be. And registration, once complete, cannot be undone. You might forget. You might rationalize. You might convince yourself it never happened. But the thing that saw you will not forget. And that constancy is enough. After this point, behavior shifts. Not dramatically. Not in ways others would notice. Quietly. You hesitate where you didn't before. In certain spaces. At certain hours. When a particular kind of silence falls. You choose words more carefully. Not out of fear, but out of a new kind of honesty. Because you know now that sound carries further than you thought. That words travel to places you can't control. That language spoken into certain silences lands differently. Silence begins to feel occupied. Not threatening. Just occupied. The way a room feels occupied when someone is standing in it, even if the lights are off. You are not afraid. Fear would be easier. Fear would give you something to fight. Something to defend against. Something to name. You are aware. And awareness carries responsibility even when no one gives instructions. Even when no one asks anything of you. The very fact of being seen means something is now expected, whether that expectation was ever voiced or not. You move differently because of it. You speak differently. You choose which rooms to enter based on something you can't quite explain. Because being seen means you are now part of a relationship, whether you consented to it or not. Whether you wanted it or not. Whether you even understand what kind of relationship it is. There is no contract. There are no rules you were shown. There is only this. Something knows you are there. And because it knows, you must change. Not because you are threatened, but because acknowledgement is a bond. And bonds have their own gravity. Nothing follows you. Nothing pursues you through hallways. Nothing waits outside your door. Nothing needs to. The shift has already occurred internally. That is where recognition leaves its mark. In the reorganization of your own attention. In the way you now move through spaces. In the silence you have learned to listen to. The pursuit ended before it could begin, because you are already carrying it with you. At some point, it wasn't just you watching. At some point, the watching became mutual. And once that moment passes, once that threshold is crossed, there is no returning to innocence. Only to alignment. Only to a new way of moving. Only to the quiet acceptance that you are seen and that being seen is the price of having paid attention. The night does not want belief. It does not want devotion or worship or prayer. It does not want sacrifice. It wants witnesses. Those who remember that attention is an offering and walk differently because of it. Those who understand that to watch is to participate. That to see is to be changed. That to recognize something is to be recognized in return. And once you have been recognized, once you have been seen in that quiet, absolute way, there is no going back. Only forward. Into whatever comes next. Into whatever the night has already begun to show you.